Jags Nation, this is the Action Sports Jax postgame show, sponsored by Farah & Farah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.
You are looking live at Everbank. There is no joy in Jagland. 69,000 plus turned out on this sweltering hot day to watch our Jaguars lose to the Kansas City Chiefs 17-9. Hi, everybody. Hicken here, just inside where we got some menacing clouds back there, so we thought we might get rained on, so we moved in a little bit inside the stadium. But man, oh man, raise your hand if you had the Chiefs beating the Jags in the total of 26 points. The over-under was 51, gang. Pretty amazing and pretty weird game, to say the least. Kansas City turned it over 3 times in the first half. Jacksonville got on the Chiefs side of the 50 5 times in the first half and scored 6 points. No bueno. Not against the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes looked pedestrian at times, but when he needed to, he got it done. Trevor didn't get any help from the receivers. And it all added up to a loss. It's not the end of the world, man. Measuring stick game, right? And we see what work we got to do. But one area of grave concern for me is the offensive line. I feel like we can't get the ball down the field because the offensive line cannot keep the opposition out and out of Trevor's way. And that's going to be a problem going forward. So that's going to be a challenge. Chris Jones, outstanding football player, came back. Kelsey did a great job on him today. He got free for that 1 touchdown, which made a big difference. But in the end, Jaguars lose. They fall to 1-1. Back home next week against the Houston Texans. So let me set the stage for the postgame show. We will be awaiting Doug Pederson. We'll carry that for you. Have his comments for you live. We'll see what he has to say. I tell you what, and again, in the end, it didn't matter. But I thought Coach Pederson, on deciding to go for it at midfield against the Chiefs in the first half when we really weren't effective, and I know he's aggressive. I'm cool with that, but I didn't like that call. And it was 3-0 at the time. The Chiefs went down and scored, made it 7-3. Now, we did get a quick touchdown back at the end of the half to make it 7-6, so not all was lost. But Kansas City did take the lead and never relinquished it. So I didn't like that call. And the one that killed us is we're down on the goal line, 1st and goal on the 1. All right, DR, I'm about to move, so you're going to have to follow me. Come back over to the camera. You don't know what I'm about to do. I got Trevor shot. We're on the 1-yard line. Run it up the middle. And we go fake, and I'm going to run, and I'm running, and Kansas City ran with him, and I'm running, and I'm not fast enough, and I'm getting tackled for a 3-yard loss. Now I'm on the dadgum 4-yard line, 2nd and goal. And we pass it a couple times, have to kick the field goal. So it was kind of that day. But again, what a weird game. It's the NFL, man. It is so odd. I would have bet the farm it was going to be a shootout. The defense held the Chiefs to 17 points. They actually sacked Breaking news, K'Lavon Chaisson with a sack. His first, so that's 5 sacks in 2 games for the Jaguars. Again, they got the ball. They intercepted Mahomes. Cisco got him once. He should have had him twice. I think Reed and Pederson just know each other so well that they're aware of every little nuance each other does, and they're both able to compensate defensively. I want to give Mike Caldwell a shout-out, the defensive coordinator. He had a plan for Travis Kelce, and it worked. Kelce, like I said, he got free. Took eyes off him one time, and he slipped away for a touchdown. But other than that, he was visibly frustrated. The NFL has ruined Jawan Taylor's NFL career. Thanks a lot. The guy played the same way for 4 years in Jacksonville. He goes to Kansas City. They're playing the opener on a Thursday night. He's lining up like this off the line of scrimmage. And, boy, they hung him today. They actually took him out mid-drive one time because he got 2 holding calls in a row. He's got a lot of work to do at right tackle because he's got to change his whole way he plays. One time he anticipated and they threw a flag on him. They never did that for 4 years, but because he's now a member of the Chiefs and all eyes were on him, I guess they got him. So that was unfortunate for him. Man, I'm telling you, I talked to JSO. We had a bunch of folks dropping today here in the heat. I mean, just pass it out. It was so warm throughout. So great crowd. I know a lot of you said too many Chiefs fans. It wasn't near like it was in 2019 when we opened against the Chiefs, and it was a sea of red. I didn't think at all. So I thought it was a great crowd. And I don't blame Jag fan, by the way, either, if they want to sell their tickets and make their money back. You know, it's capitalism at its best. All right, what do we have? Game day notes? What do you got for me, Liv? Pop those up and I'll go over them. Yeah, tell me what they are, because I don't have any vision here on the postgame. What was it? Total yardage. You're looking at it. Yeah, we got crushed in total yardage. We only had 271 yards. That ain't good enough. What else we got? All right, first down's basically even, 19-18. What else we got? Great job with the penalties. What's that? A little too aggressive in the first half, I thought. I'm talking to the fans right now, excuse me. I thought we were a little too aggressive in the first half, especially when we went for it on that at midfield. Because we're up 3-0, and that's the kind of game it is. So, yeah, you got it. Nice to see you. We're just talking. That's what we do here on the post-game show. So, so again, I'm not destroyed. I'm not angry, or as angry as some of you want me to be. We got a lot of work to do. It's early. It's a great measuring stick. What we must do is come back next week and beat the heck out of Houston. That's what we must do. All right, then we got to go to London and take care of a good Falcons team. We got to stack some dubs, all right? This is a good one. Kansas City, Andy Reid is so good when he has extra time to prepare. Let's look at the schedule here, all right? So still a great chance to get some wins, still a great chance to go to 2-1 next week as Houston comes to town. They got thumped by the Minshew, and the Indianapolis Colts today. And then it's off to London for 2 games. Buffalo got it back together, so that will be a great game. But listen, just find ways to get wins. Unfortunately, the Titans got a win today in overtime against the Chargers, so they get to 1-1 as well, so they're keeping pace. So tough loss for the Jags, but still not near the end of the world, all right? Let's look at it from a reverse standpoint like we did when we played the Patriots back in 18. We beat them. We were riding high. We thought we were going to win the Super Bowl, and we lost 7 in a row. This team won't do that. But we got to fix some things on offense, man. And I thought it was interesting that Dearness Johnson has sort of eased his way past Tank Bigsby in the lineup. And ETN eventually cramped up. Can't blame him. I mean, when you're an NFL running back and you're getting the rock, 12 carries for 40 yards, close to breaking a couple, never got that one into the secondary. Again, let's give the Chiefs defense some credit, too. Steve Spagnuolo, excellent defensive coordinator. He had a great plan, and his plan certainly, he used Chris Jones on the outside against the rookie Anton Harrison. He beat him for at least 2 times that I can think of, 2 sacks. So Chris Jones, worth every penny. And remember, he didn't play in the first game against Detroit. I thought he made a great difference for the Kansas City Chiefs today. All right, so what are we doing? We're awaiting Doug Pederson right now. We'll hear from Doug momentarily. He'll talk about it. I mean, that is again, it was a sauna out there, ladies and gentlemen. So interesting how the Jags picked up the pieces. We'll hear from Josh Allen as well. Or Josh Allen, by the way, got injured, so I don't know if we'll hear from him, but I was going to say he got injured. Liv, throw up me the quarterback comparison and tell me what it was. I know Trevor had a lot of drops, and I know he's around 50%. Not his best day, but not the offense's best day. What was he, 22 of 40 or something like that? Yeah, 22 of 41. Only 216 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, which I like. What was Patrick Mahomes? He finished with 300? Yeah, Patrick Mahomes, maybe a little more aggressive, but you know what? He has a little more time to throw, man. I mean, my concern with this offense is we got these great skill players. Well, they weren't great today. And we can't buy the quarterback enough time to get the intermediary to deep routes. We had one deep ball today. Christian Kirk caught it for 45 yards. Christian Kirk bounced back from not playing a whole lot last week. He was on the field a great deal, and he had over 100 yards receiving. I thought Calvin Ridley did not have a good game. I thought Calvin Ridley had a couple chances to make big-time plays, and he was not able to do that, and I thought that hurt the Jaguars immensely today. And a game that you know is going to be a fourth-quarter game, and I don't know, at 17-9, do you take the field goal? I mean, the Chiefs ended up driving it down the length of the field anyway. The Jags defense at that time might have been beat. But we got the weather we wanted. We got the crowd we wanted. We had everything in place for this big game to get tested. And we just weren't able to get it done. Just not able to get it done. But you know what? The Chiefs are the world champs for a lot of reasons. And one of them is Patrick Mahomes, who I thought was just okay today. And he still threw for 305 yards. So in the end, it all added up to a Jaguar loss. They fall to 1-1, and we'll get going again. And it's the NFL, man. Right back to work again next week when they host the Houston Texans. Liv, where are we? Do we have Brent? Waiting on Doug Pederson. All right, probably a minute out, so we'll catch up with him, and we'll see what he has to say. And then we'll get Brent Martineau, who watched the game beside me, so I can tell you exactly what he's going to say. Basically a lot of the same stuff that I'm just saying right here, right now. But again, I just, too early in the season to lose your mind, to scream, to rant, to rave. But I don't want to see this again, you know, and I'm worried about the offensive line. I am worried about the offensive line. And we'll talk to Tony Baselli about that throughout the week. We like to talking. He's obviously one of the voices of the Jacksonville Jaguars, an analyst who understands O-line play as well as anybody. He's a Pro Football Hall of Famer, so we'll see what he has to say going forward. But I think it's 2 weeks in a row that they haven't played well. Let's listen in on Doug Pederson right now.
And making sure we're putting our guys in position to be successful.
The defense today, 3 turnovers, seemed like a successful outing against a team like Kansas City. Just what did you see out there, and then why, I guess, wasn't the offense able to do anything with those turnovers, basically?
Yeah, defense played well. I mean, defense kept us in this football game, created the takeaways you mentioned. And as I said, it's just execution. We've got to do better. We've got to execute. We've got too many guys on offense, veteran players that, just we all need to do better, starting with me.
Doug, just how different was this from the playoff game last year defensively from what you saw of the Chiefs? And the other thing that I was going to ask also was, until the very end, you were in this game. You know, any score could have tied this game or given you the lead. So, looking back on that, just kind of your thoughts on that one as well.
Yeah, I mean, last year. We moved forward. I mean, it's obviously a good football team, and they did a lot of the same stuff they did last year to us. So it wasn't anything that we did not expect. But again, you play good teams, you play well-coached teams. You can't beat yourself, and that's what we did today. We beat ourselves. Yes, the defense, yes, special teams played well, but it takes all 3 phases, right? That's what football teams do, and we didn't do that well enough today. The opportunities were there, and we didn't do it. We gotta look at this film and be hard and critical of ourselves, and bounce back next week.
Doug, what's your level of surprise, concern that the execution, the offensive rhythm and flow hasn't been there, despite the fact almost everybody coming back year 2 in the system?
I mean, you look at it in practice. I mean, the guys are doing it in practice. It's we just got to make sure we carry over, to the game. And as coaches, we got to make sure we're doing the right things and not doing too much, just putting our guys in position and letting them go play. And then as players, we just got to execute the plays and execute what we see, and we just, again, it's something that, we all have to be accountable for it, myself included, and make sure that we get it corrected.
Doug, following up on the offensive execution, what is your concern level with the offensive line, specifically with Anton Harrison? I know he had a tough matchup, but it's 2 weeks in a row that he's had some troubles out there.
I got all the confidence in the world in Anton, and listen, Chris Jones is a great player. He's a great player. I mean, he's a very good player, right? And Anton's a great player. This is a great game for Anton to learn from. right? And look, it's week 2, and there's a lot of football ahead of us. It's a good football team sitting in that locker room right now, and we're going to get this thing fixed and turned around and headed in the right direction.
Doug, you guys were up 3-0. You had a 4th and 5 at the KC 45. It had been obviously a defensive struggle up to that point. What went into your thinking to go for it there? Were you enough on the other side of midfield that you wanted to?
Yeah, I knew their offense wasn't like playing extremely well at the time, right? I mean, we had some opportunities, but I just wanted to stay aggressive right there, and that was just my decision. My decision to be aggressive and stay on the field. We just didn't execute.
Yeah. Doug, I know this is the second game the press has called the entire play. I know you commented last week that obviously there were some things that were maybe a little bit clunky. It's a group effort, but how would you assess his second game calling an entire game?
It's fine. Listen, this game, sometimes it's not about the plays. Now we have to coach the plays better, so the guys understand exactly what to do and how to react to what the defense is presenting. But, I learned a long time ago that players play this football game and coaches coach. We coach better. The players will ultimately play better. So it starts with us. If we're going to evaluate everything and make sure that we're putting our guys in the right places. But I thought Press did a nice job today.
Time for a couple more.
When it was 17-9, about 5 minutes left, 4th and 12, was there any thoughts about kicking a field goal there, or was that just, again, another thing about staying aggressive?
If the backwards pass would have put us back maybe in 4th and 15-ish, 4th and 14, yeah, I would have kicked it there. 4th and 12, you're taking a shot to the end zone anyway, so not a big deal.
On a day where it looked clunky and didn't feel good, how do you avoid overreacting? Where Trevor missed open receivers and offensive linemen struggled to block and nothing seemed to work. How do you keep a team from overreacting?
It's week 2. I mean, my gosh. It's week 2. We're 1-1. We're in a great spot. We lost to a good football team today. We didn't play great. Guys know that. Guys are going to rally. Guys are going to bounce back. We're going to be better next week. A lot of football ahead of us. And that's the exciting part about it, and those guys are ticked off in there. They're mad and they know it. And but it's so early in this season that one game's not going to define who we are, and it's not going to define our season.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, that's Doug Pederson, and said what I sort of expected he would say. Look, gang, it's week 2. What did I say? It's week 2. Let's not overreact. He said, it's week 2, my gosh. Play calling was fine. Nobody played well. Nobody coached well. It's a team loss. We got to do a better job getting them ready. We got to do a better job coaching these guys. I agree. It wasn't a great coaching job. Wasn't a great player's job either. I got a lot of confidence in Anton Harrison. Rough day, great learning experience for a rookie going up against arguably the best defensive lineman in the National Football League a lot of times today. So great learning experience for him. Again, Mike, I'm not concerned about receivers dropping balls. I don't think that's going to continue. I'm not concerned about Trevor missing a pass here or there. That happens. I'm not concerned about the ground game. I'm concerned about the O-line, though. I'm concerned about the offensive line. And it's kind of like this, though. I'm concerned about the offense a little bit more than I thought I'd be, but I'm pleasantly surprised at how the defense has played for 2 games now, right? So you got to give the defense credit for both games. And if we had won again today, which we didn't, it would have been a defensive nod one more time. So it's a kind of a trade-off there where you worry about the offense, but you're happy about the defense. And the defense got after Mahomes. He's very hard to sack. They did get him one time. They had 3 turnovers. One of them was on special teams. Tim Jones recovered it. That's why you keep Tim Jones, I guess, on special teams. So keep him on the football roster. So we go from here. We fall to 1-1. Not the end of the world. I agree with Doug Pederson. But a few concerning things. Christian Kirk was not one of them. We thought he'd bounce back. He didn't play a lot of plays last week. He played a lot this week. He had over 100 yards receiving. Brent caught up with Christian Kirk just moments ago.
What's out of sync right now with you guys on offense?
Just a lot of self-inflicted errors. Obviously, that's a great football team and a great defense. So, we tip our caps to them. But, you look at it after, there were so many opportunities that we missed. And collectively as a group, the guys that needed to make plays, there's times where the plays weren't made. And, they just caught up to us. And so I think that's what, is the hardest part about this right now.
Does it add to the frustration, like just a missed opportunity, the way the defense played to hold them to 17?
100%. I mean, the defense is playing lights out. They're playing such good football. That's such a high-powered offense, and for them to hold them to 17, they gave us every shot to go out and win the game, and we didn't do it. That's on us as an offense, and we're way too good to go out there and put together something like that and put that out there. So we need to look ourselves in the mirror and be very harsh on ourselves come tomorrow.
Are you okay after hitting the post?
That was Calvin.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good, but I got a little. My helmet. Yeah, I took a couple hits today, but I'm all right.
How about just getting back in
the fourth down conversions? Not like the beginning of last year, you guys did a lot of them, and rolling the dice is not paying off so far this year. You look at it as just you're taking a chance, and sometimes it's going to work, and sometimes it's not.
Yeah, I think no matter what, we're going to be aggressive. And Doug believes in us, and as players, we need to be better on fourth down and third down. Collectively, in those pressure downs, we need to make sure that we're all locked in. We can't have any mistakes. There's some penalties, some missed assignments, on those plays. So we just need to be better. We're the ones controlling it, and they're putting us in the positions to go make those plays. So I think that we're going to continue to be aggressive. We just need to be better executing.
Did it feel good to get in the rhythm for you, at least to get in the flow of things?
Yeah, it did. There was a little bit, ebbs and flows in the first half. Still trying to figure some things out. Still had some missed opportunities, but unfortunately we didn't win the game. And so, we need to go back and look at where there's better opportunities to either schematically do some better things. But I think as players, we need to do better. But whatever I can do to help contribute a little bit more to get us some wins, I'll definitely look to do.
Talk about the missed opportunities, a lot of that in the red zone, right? What can you specifically do better as a unit to come away with touchdowns, not just field goals?
Execution. It was hot. It was a long game, but we can't fall back on that. We're going to have another opportunity next week where it's going to be hot and we're going to have a divisional opponent, and so we need to be better. I think it's all pre-snap of just locking into what your job is and doing that at the highest level. And no matter how tired, how hurt you are, you got to do it. And so that's what we're going to definitely focus on is just selling out on each and every individual play.
All right, guys, one more.
Is it hard to move past these? They got you the last 3 times dating back to last year. Is it harder to move past these ones?
No. We have a lot of pros, in this locker room, and so pros move on. It hurts right now. You digest the feelings today, and then once tomorrow morning comes around, look at the film, be hard on yourself, critical, and then it's over with. You move on. This is week 2 of a 17-week season, and we still are very early on in writing our story, and we're looking forward to doing that. So, it hurts now, but we're going to move on, and I believe this team will be ready to go next week.
The sports account that posted it.
The attitude of coach and player and Doug Pederson and Christian Kirk. We've got to take a harsh look. We got to be honest with ourselves. We got to look at the tape. Yes, you do. And Christian Kirk said it best. We're far too good to play like this on offense. And I agree. Far too good. You're supposed to be a top 5 offense in the National Football League. And again, listen, we can all blame the offensive line, and that's fair. But Trevor's got to be better, right? Etienne's got to break a run. The receivers got to hold on to the football. So I think everybody is kind of a cumulative effort on the offensive side of the ball, and I think that's what's hurting the Jacksonville Jaguars right now. So they got to figure it out because, again, one loss today against Kansas City ain't the end of the world. No big deal. Bounce back, that's fine. A lot of football left. We got, 15 games to go. 15 games to go. But you better come out next week and play some good football against Houston, right? You better play better against the Texas because guess what, gang? We got a 3-way tie in the AFC South right now. Again, I know it's early. But Indy beat Houston, and the Titans beat the Chargers. That's an upset. And the Jags lost. So 3 1-1s, and Houston at 0-2. Who do they play next week, Liv? I know we have Houston. Oh, you don't have it in the bottom of the box? Never mind. We'll move on. So anyway, and by the way, Gardner Minshew came in for Anthony Richardson today and replaced AR and put a lot of points on the board for the Colts. So Titans go to Cleveland next week. That's a tough game for them as well. So, again, opportunities for the Jags. Colts go to the Ravens. Good luck with that one. So we'll see how it all plays out. But right now, 3 1-1 teams in the AFC South. That's what happens week to week. It's the NFL, baby. That's how we go. We're only 2 games in. Christian Kirk said it best. We're far too good to play like this, and you are. And Kansas City's a good defense. They're not a great defense. They're really good. Steve Spagnuolo's a really good coach, longtime defense coordinator. Been part of Super Bowl champions on the Giants, been part of Super Bowl champions on the Kansas City Chiefs. Does a great job and had a great plan today. But Doug Pederson's a great coach, too. You got to figure it out. You heard Doug talk about press, because I know a lot of you are sitting there going, play calling stinks. We got to change the play caller. Go back to Doug. Why is it Doug? He said Press Taylor was fine today, in his opinion. So, excuse me. Anyway, that is where we stand right now. We're going to see if Trevor comes to the podium in the next minute or two. Do we have anybody else, Liv? All right, waiting on Foye Oluokun, who had a bunch of tackles, and Evan Ingram. Let's look around the NFL. We'll update you right now. As you can see, some of the scores. Is that what we're looking at? I know that, as I mentioned, the Titans beat the Chargers. Did the Ravens beat the Bengals, Liv? I believe they were ahead. So the Bengals go to 0-2 for the second straight year. They're panicking up there in Cincinnati. But there's a lot of football left for them to do. Bills annihilated the Raiders, so as expected, Buffalo's back. Fell behind 7-0. Everybody's in a pure panic, and then they rolled. Upset in Detroit. Seattle goes over to Detroit and beats the Lions in overtime, and Jared Goff's consecutive passes thrown without an interception came to an end. He threw a pick 6. Who won that game? Falcons with a nice win. Hey, they're not a gimme in London, gang. Falcons beat the Packers 25-24 in a game, in a close game as well. So some of the early NFL action, I saw that the Niners were on top of the Rams in the late game, and the Cowboys were on top of the Jets in some of the 4 o'clock games that are going on right now. But here in Jacksonville, the Jags lose 17-9. Again, if I go over it one more time, raise your hand if you thought there was going to be 26 total points scored today. I didn't. Brent Martineau with Foye Oluokun. Defensive effort outstanding today, but not enough. Jags lose.
Foye, just overall to hold them to what you guys did, how good was the effort on defense today?
It was good effort. Endurance game. I knew it was going to be a game of outlasting them. You know, caused a lot of turnovers. At the end of the day, like, you had to outlast that team. Long plays or what, long drives, just had to outlast them. We didn't come up with the W.
Does it feel like a missed opportunity?
We was right there, and they knew it. The other team knew it. The other team knew it. They was, when they got up, that's when they got a little chippy. You know what I'm saying? They finally took a little deep breath and decided to, do what they do. But they felt it, for sure.
How did it feel for you guys to create frustration with Pat Mahomes?
Oh, they was frustrated. It was good, but we came out. They were able to point up at the scoreboard and said, check the scoreboard. So that hurts. And it's plays here and there. You got to outlast that team, because it's going to be a 4-quarter bout, and you got to be able to come up with the win in the end, no matter how it looks.
But does that give you confidence moving forward in the season and maybe even late in the season? With the
confidence.
Coming? Yeah, does it give you even more confidence?
Yeah, we was confident in ourselves before the season started, because, whatever the stats were for our defense looking last year, people, some reporter asked me, one of y'all, some reporter asked me, what do you think the defense is going to bring to this team? We're going to bring something. We got something to prove every week. And we was there with the turnovers. We got to outlast that team. We got to outlast other teams, be cleaner in the game, handle hurry up in the game. There's plays left out there that we could clean up. Confidence, for sure. We just out there proving what we know we can do.
When you say we, are you talking about defense? Who are you talking
The whole team.
The whole team?
Team, we was right there. We, together, everybody. We was right there. Everybody clean up what they got to do. We right there.
How much confidence do you have in the offense to find a rhythm?
Confidence. They're explosive. You know, off day to day, they'll fix it. We got a lot of players on that team. You know, we seen it all training camp. Makes us better. We know they're going to fix it. We just do our job, and then as a team, we're going to pull out those games at the end.
What do you think the linebacking core did with Kelsey today? I know he's coming off the injury, but
How do you do? I don't know his stat.
he had like 4 or 5 catches.
He was frustrated, and then when he was up at the end, he was able to point at the scoreboard. But they was frustrated as a team. I think, you know, they're going to say whatever they say on the other side, but we was right there. We have to be able to outlast them.
What are you guys doing so well on defense these 2 weeks?
Coach Bob Sutton taking the ball away. Shout out to Coach Bob taking the ball away, making teams drive the ball field on us. You know, obviously those 2 drives they did score. There was an X play in there, I believe. So we got to do better at that. Take that away. Everybody hustling to the ball. Let's tackle better as a team this year, and try to keep taking that ball away.
Is there still one more step to go for you guys have done so many things, but I'm saying in terms of beating a team like this, a team that's been there before.
Like I said, we got to outlast. Every play is important. Every drive is important. When you have those opportunities, taking advantage of everything. That's how to be the best of the best, because every game going to be, not every game is going to be pretty. When it's a gritty, grimy game, those one play here, one play there, you got to be able to come up with the win. And we didn't do that today, so that's on us.
Foye, how would you evaluate the defense on Travis Kelce in particular?
I really don't know his stats. I think we did a good job of making them drive the field, and I feel like that as a team they were frustrated on offense. I mean, I'm sitting there next to him in a lot of plays, and he's over there, and you know what I'm saying? But when he was up, you know, they were able to point at the scoreboard like I keep saying, and then, you know, they were very happy. So that we got to do better.
Did you feel like compared to last year at the 2 meetings, this defense took a step forward in terms of countering their offense?
I feel like we had a good plan. There's always a step for us to go. Obviously, there's plays out there for us to make that we didn't make. Myself, like, I'm over here kicking myself. So as a team, I feel like we did good. We forced turnovers, made them drive the field, hold them to low points. But we was just there last year, basically the same thing. There's plays here and there that we have to make in order to beat a team like that.
Could you talk a little bit about how difficult it is to keep Mahomes in check the whole game long? It's always going to be like 2 or 3 plays that he just makes, like on that last pass. You know, I mean, you got some pressure on him, but he's just delayed for a second.
And that's what he does. He's good at that. I mean, that's what he puts on tape week in, week out. At the end of the day, when you're put in those positions, you have to make those plays in order to beat that team. And I did not make that play, and now we're sitting here. So I have to get better. The team has to get better. We're going to do it together.
How much do you think that this game will not define this team?
It's a long season. Define the team. We was fighting. That's what you got to take away from this game. We fight no matter who we play all the way to the end. We got more weeks to correct it. Good. Well, Houston, right?
Yep.
Let's play.
All right, that's Foye Oluokun, who has played very good football for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and you heard him talk about the defensive effort today. And listen, again, I like this team. I like the character of this football team. I think this football team is going to be fine, all right? Way too early to get worried. So everybody relax. Let's figure some things out and get going again and get things revved up. Start stacking some W's here and make some hay, especially in the first half of the season. But this was an opportunity at home. You got to win your home games. And the Jags certainly didn't get it. They fall to the Kansas City Chiefs by a final score of 17-9. Do we have Evan Ingram, Liv? Okay. That's your call, Liv. You're the producer, so you decide what we want to do. Otherwise, I'm saying goodbye. All right. We got prime time coming up tonight. We'll hear from Trevor. We always wait for Trevor. Sometimes we get him, sometimes we don't. We didn't get him here, so we'll have him for you. A lot of his comments coming up tonight on Action Sports Jax Prime Time. We do it at 10:30 on Fox 30, 11:30 on CBS 47, pending the outcome of the football game. So enjoy the rest of the day. Jags lose a tough one here at the bank by a final score of 17-9 to the Kansas City Chiefs. Lost our last 8 against the Chiefs. I really don't want to go to Arrowhead in January, so let's start getting some W's, Jaguars. Thanks for watching. More coming up tonight. Don't forget, Jags Report Live tomorrow. Jamal Agnew, our guest.
Jags Nation, thanks for watching the Action Sports Jax postgame show, sponsored by Farah and Farah, the exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars.